Oh, I haven't done this. It's Thursday, November 8th, 2012, and it's just about 12:05 p.m. I could just say 12:04, but this is just an update reply, which is probably, I don't mean to, it's probably not, I'm sure it was a rhetorical vlog, but I really connected to things that were said, so I wanted to just jump in and share some thoughts. I actually took a couple notes. I'm a dork. Okay. Regarding medication and depression. But first of all, I think there's a connection regarding regarding not wanting to take medication, but while dealing with depression, and intelligence. Now, hear me out. Anybody who's done any sort of research realizes that putting pharmaceuticals into your body you're messing with chemistry and body function, and we know they're profiting off of our illnesses and illnesses that they label and that they create. And I mean, it's an industry and it's not going away anytime soon. So if you're dealing with something that, especially for many of us, when we were younger, we were told, get over it, go for a walk, which, yeah, does help. It's one of those conundrums. It's like, yes, doing certain things helps, but if you're so depressed that you can't do anything, you can't do what will help. But even that will not, if you're intelligent enough, you know, medication is like, are you kidding me? It's not even if you look at it from the standpoint of, oh, I feel like I need to do this on my own and use the old tough, you know, carry on thing, or compare yourself to anything else. I know I'm sounding scattered, but I used to read a lot of people's thoughts who were also intelligent online years ago. I know that sounds weird, but a friend of mine who dealt with mental illness also had the issue with medication. So this isn't, I've seen this. I've even, unfortunately, with one of my diagnoses, I would have a tendency to talk myself out of medication and go off it and be like, I'm fine, I'm good, I don't need that poison in my body. And unfortunately, though, if you truly do have that lack of stuff that can save off depression, whether it's circumstances or it's chemical or whatever it is, you're going to hit that point where, oh crap, I'm thinking about things falling off a truck and, you know, taking me out, or I'm thinking about walking in front of this, or I'm thinking, you know, then you realize, perhaps medication is a good idea. With my anxiety, for instance, even when I was at a state where I was not feeling any depression and I was in a good place, going without any medication for anxiety would be fine for a while, but and I didn't suffer withdrawal from going off the medications. I've been able to always go off them without any, you know, withdrawal that they talk about. But I did notice I shook very visibly all the time, really badly. And I talked about it with my doctor, who I trust and I've been gone through a long process of medications with. And he said, that's how it is for you. That's always going to be there. And that was tough, you know, because I was like, well, you know, it's just It's not just in my head, although it's in your head. It's part of it. So, medication, this is the tough part about medication, though, and what they don't tell you, or what they don't always, it's not a quick fix. Sometimes, especially, and this is something that has come out if you've watched many documentaries about it, especially with the increase in suicides among young people and even adults, you can go on an antidepressant and have an increase in depression for a period of time. And that's just crazy. One drug that worked for me, the first one I went on for depression was Effexor, which can work very good for some people. So I want to say, if you're on it and it works for you, awesome. For me, it was amazing the first few months I was on it. I found I had just a great turnaround. But it also turned into the first drug I ever OD'd on. It was the first one it did not last for me. And it was the first one that I tried to commit suicide with. So, new medication. So, I went through various, whether it was, I had to go through various medications before we found the ones that we felt were the ones that could be good for me. And it took a long time, I'll tell you that. It was frustrating to try different medications, and even when one I thought was working okay, to go into the doctor's office one day and the doctor says, I'm going to have to take you off that. That one is especially damaging. We've been told it's damaging to the liver. Now, all these medications are going to have an effect on your liver, especially if you OD. Don't be ODing. But that might happen sometimes where you're put on one and you think, this is working, and then you're told, we have to take you off that, because there are rare cases where actually the pharmaceutical industry gets enough lawsuits against them, or enough information comes out that they're like, oh yeah, oops, let's take this off the market. I hope this is not further depressing anyone. I'm just sharing my experience with this. So it took several years to be put on the right cocktail of meds. And even now, right now, for the past while, I've been under stress for a long time, where my stress doesn't even work anymore. As in, it was stated years ago that I can't handle stress, so my fight or flight is just all effed up to the point where any sort of stress can put me just, it's incredulous how bad it can be. But then I actually deal with really stressful situations, and some have happened within the past couple months, and serious things, including I'm going to move soon, which is like number one stress. I mean, it beats deaths, family deaths, as for stress, and I'm going to go through that. So, what am I saying? Oh, I'm due for like a medication alteration, whatever, because for a while there, I just was not anymore. I mean, I've been years on the same medications, but I had an increase last year. I'm going to move back to where my doctor is, so that will help, and he can monitor me, because they will not adjust meds, as you know, unless they can monitor you. Because there's responsibility connected to it. And as I said, it can change. Something can work for a while, and then it can't, or they definitely have to watch you for the first while that you're on it, because it could be a dangerous period. There's not one med for even one illness that they can give to everybody. It works different with everyone, and it also affects what you're doing in your life or what's going on, whether you're doing healthy things, whether you have healthy, supportive people around you. I mean, all that stuff matters in life anyway and would make a big difference for everyone. But anyway, I just wanted to say that I think that it's intelligent to be resistant to medication. But it also takes some intelligence to realize that sometimes it can be helpful. If you're in therapy and you have medication, that's ideal. And if you're taking steps to do things that are healthy for you, including being kind to yourself, that's the best thing. Regarding cats and caring and company, which is what I wrote down, and share how responsibility can be helpful. Okay, and an emotional thing, forming an emotional connection. Okay, yeah, I'm all for getting the cat. Okay. Lion and the Hagrid. Hagrid's no longer with me, and I still have Lion. But these guys saved my life during a suicidal depression. Not even family or friends could tie me. But knowing, I'll share with you. One day, this is back when I was in a very small town and things were really bad. And I was very sick. And I had to get out of the house. I had to get cat food because one of the things, as depressed as you are, you do have a responsibility, and you're going to find yourself, regardless, going out and getting that cat food, going out and getting that litter, because you are responsible for them. But you're going to form a bond, and you're going to love them, and you're going to get love back. And regardless of how bad you're feeling, you're going to get that cat food. And I was having a day where I was living where a lot of transport trucks were going through the little town. And I thought of stepping in front of the transport truck and how quick that would be. And I'd be done. I wouldn't have to fight depression or fight anything anymore. I wouldn't have to feel any of the things I've had to go through during that time period regarding work and stuff. And I remembered that I was holding the cat food in my arms. And I remembered that my Lion and the Hagrid were waiting at home for me. And sure, they could have had a better home, but they were mine. And they were depending on me. And they loved me, and I loved them. And they're my boys. So I did not step in front of that truck, obviously. And I took that cat food home. So you don't sound like you're in that dark of a place, but I'm just telling you, that responsibility isn't a bad thing. That responsibility isn't a bad thing. Yes, you need to live for yourself, and find meaning in things, but sometimes when you don't even have the strength to have that, I'm telling you, it does help. Yeah. So I shared that. I've probably shared that before sometime, but forming that emotional connection can save your life. Here's an intelligent and unfortunate admission. Depression is kind of selfish. Sorry. I'm saying it to myself too. It can be a selfish illness, if that makes sense. It can feel selfish. people can perceive it as selfish, but it is what it is. It's like a hatred turned inward. And the best thing for you, I got shivers when you said about forming an emotional connection and it being an emotional thing, because it sounds like exactly what would be good for you, and probably what you need if even thinking about it brings that about. I'm done now. I'm right on. I just like, if you actually watch this, thanks. And I hope I didn't, I don't know. I'm just gonna go.